Everyone watching this video has had an experience where they came across people who found a way to do things behind the scene to get an advantage over every other person, right? And sometimes you want to look for a word to describe their behavior. Well, I've got a word for you, and it's a word of the day, and it is backstairs. It's actually an adjective, and it means dishonest or secret behavior. Now, for us to appreciate what this word means, I want you to picture a building, right, that has many levels, one, two, three, four stories, right? Um, Sometimes when the builders build such buildings, they create a way for you to access the buildings, the upper levels of the building, and they do so by creating stairs, right? And so because these stairs are in the front of the building, you call them the front stairs. But then some other builders also create a means for you to access the building from the back. And these stairs are called back stairs, right? So when someone is coming from the front and accesses the building from the front stairs, you see him, you expect him. But when somebody comes through the back stairs, you don't see him, right? It's a sneaky behavior, it's secretive, right? So in today's English too, right, the word backstairs is used to describe sneaky, secretive, dishonest behavior that people don't see coming and that you use to get an advantage over every other person. Let's use some examples to understand how this word can be used, right? Our first example for the day reads thus: not every promotion is attained by merit. Some are gotten via backstairs routes or external influence. Now, people want to get to the top in their careers, right? They want to be promoted, they want to become successful, they want to be recognized by every other person, right? And people would do almost anything to get there. One of the ways they do so is through go through the back, right? Some have had extramarital affairs with their seniors, some have had to bribe their way, some have had to blackmail their way, and all of that. So any method to get to the top in the corporate world that is illegal, that is unacceptable, right, is called the backstairs routes. So this is a typical example of one of such cases, right? Example two: Francis got the contracts because of his ability to carry out backstairs business deals. Now, for those of you in the world of contracts, right, you'd realize that you'd have to sometimes know someone who knows someone who knows someone to even be considered for an award of contract. But then the consideration for an award of contract is not just enough. Sometimes there are cases where people want to have an edge over other potential contractors, right? Or other potential awardees of contracts, if you want to use that. So what do? They also try to bribe their way. They blackmail their way. They also have, sexual affairs with people who are supposed to award these contracts, right? So it happens. So this is also what we call backstairs routes. So Mr. Francis, in this case, has a reputation for getting contracts. And most people don't know that Mr. Francis, goes through the backstairs routes because he has someone to bribe, someone to blackmail, or someone to do stuff with. That is how he gets his way. At some point in life, most of us have been in a very difficult situation. It could be financially difficult, it could be maritally difficult, it could be, just about anything difficult, right? And you might want to use a word or an expression to describe the situation that you're in. Well, guess what? I've got you covered again. The word, or the idiom rather, that describes such situation is called to be on a razor's edge. It actually means to be in a very difficult situation. Now, I want you to imagine sitting on a razor, a big razor. You can't do that, right? It's sharp. You do so, you cut yourself, you bleed, you could bleed to death. So, sitting or to be on a razor's edge is to be in a very difficult situation, which, if not well handled, could end your life, could end your marriage, could ruin your career, could stain your reputation, could do something really awful or bad to you. All right. So let's take examples to appreciate how this idiom can be used. The first example: the scandal has put the director's career on razor's edge. Yeah, scandal is something that everybody wants to avoid, right? It's bad for business, it's bad for the company you work for, it's bad for your image, it's bad for your reputation, it's bad for your family, and all of that. So, this director in this case had this scandal that came out, and this director is someone who is rising real fast. What happens? Well, first things first, the company you work for tells you, we can't deal with you. You have to go. Your wife is mad at you. Your church or mosque is ashamed of you. Your children are embarrassed by you. So it's difficult. Your career could very likely come to an end just like that. Nobody, I mean literally nobody, wants to be in such a mess, right? Example 2: the country's economy is on razor's edge, which is why a lot of persons are making plans to move to other countries. This is what happens, especially in developing countries. It's as though nothing is working. There are no jobs. Professionals are not well paid. Hospitals are not working. Educational systems are functioning below par and all of that. So this is a difficult situation. And so what do people do? They want to move where things are better. So this is our word and idiom for the day. I would like to see your comments, and I would like to see your examples. Make one example with each word and with each idiom. And don't forget to follow and like this video. Bye.